Welcome back to the channel, Life of a Psych NP. Well guys, today is going to be a special video because I'm going to be doing a day in the life of an urgent care psychiatric nurse practitioner. So my unit is split up as an urgent care and a crisis stabilization unit. So I see anywhere from walk-ins all the way to people that are on 72-hour holds, and we are located in California. So they're called 5150s for adults and then 5585s for adolescents. So without further ado, let's get started on my day in the life of a Psych NP. So let's go. So guys, I just got to work and I wanted to give you a background in regards to like my shift. So my shift is from 8 to 8, so I do work 12-hour shifts, and I absolutely love it because I only do this 2 days a week, but I know a lot of people do it 3 days a week and they work full-time. And as you know, I have way too many jobs, and it's convenient because I'm able to work this job and it pays all of my bills, and then I'm working the other job just so I can start investing and doing all the other things that I want to do, play money, investing, and trying to figure out other avenues that I can do. So I don't want to work as long as a Psych NP. I think as a Psych NP, I probably want to do it for maybe 10 to 15 more years, and then I'm out. It's not like I don't like it, but I just want to figure out other things to do and just enjoy spending time with my family and enjoy spending time with all the other things that I want to do. So yeah, so 12-hour shifts, 8 to 8. So the way this urgent care crisis stabilization unit works, they are open from 8 to 8 for the walk-ins, but they are open 24 hours in the back unit where they accept anywhere from police department drop-offs, people that wanting to get crisis stabilization relatively fast. So people can just go back there and just seek services, or they're getting dropped off by the police, or they're getting dropped off by ambulance from different hospitals or firefighters or whatever the case may be. And it's pretty cool. And then they just have to stay there until a nurse practitioner or a psychiatrist come in and assess them. So I'm about to walk in right now. Go ahead and just hang out, and typically I'll give you a basic rundown on what I do when I do walk in and how I go about my day. So stay tuned. And before we get started, if you are new to this channel, let me formally introduce myself. I'm Darty. I'm a board certified psychiatric nurse practitioner, and in this channel I go over several different subjects to educate the public about mental health, ways to improve your lifestyle, topics related to nursing, nurse practitioners, and specifically psychiatric nurse practitioners like myself. So if you are interested in any of these topics, feel free to subscribe. Make sure you like this video because it helps me out so much, especially with the YouTube algorithm, and it gets me motivated and want to make more videos for you guys. And if you haven't followed me already, follow me on Instagram at LifeofaPsychNP. So without further ado, let's get started. So a little bit background about here. So I did let you know that there's a crisis stabilization, which is kind of the back unit. So it's divided up into an adult side and an adolescent side. And then there's the front unit where people walk in as urgent care. If they're in crisis, we'll do evaluations. If there are needing refills, we'll do those. Or if they just want their normal assessments and psych evals, we'll be able to do those also. So like I said, I just walked in. I already got a report from the nurses. Right now we have about 3 new patients, 2 new adolescents that need to be evaluated, and then 1 new adult. And then we have to do reassessments for the patients that are actually there also. So we have 1 adult reassessment and I'm just going to go ahead and see them. I'm going to look through the charts, make sure that everything's in place, see what they got, what medications they got, what kind of resources they're needing, and going from there. So stay tuned. So I know I briefly touched upon wanting to get a report, looking through the charts, but I can't stress the importance of actually going through the charts and making sure that you look through everything, especially with so many team members here, and you want to be able to kind of see all of the notes. If you kind of miss one, then you might not know what exactly went down. Yes, the nurses give great report, don't get me wrong, but there's certain things that they may miss, especially when it comes to kind of the therapist side, the social work side, things like that. So you want to always go through all of the notes, especially if they've been here longer than a day or so. So make sure you do that. It's extremely important. So I went ahead and assessed 2 people already. So I assessed one new evaluation, and I assessed someone that had a reassessment that were already evaluated yesterday. So it went pretty well. Basically, the things that you want to be able to determine is how their status is and what's going on at the moment. So you always want to assess your normal things, like are they a danger to themselves, are they a danger to others, and depending on the symptoms that they're exhibiting, and then their whole psychiatric history, medical history, and social history, things like that, you want to be able to assess and determine if they need to go to a higher level of care, which is inpatient hospitalization, or if they just need to be admitted onto the unit, reassess, and see how well they do the next day when they get reassessed by the next provider, and then that provider can determine if they need to be transferred to a higher level of care, still continue to be on the unit, or if they can be safely discharged with resources. It just all depends on so many different factors, so you always have to determine what's going on, and when you go through all of those things, then you could truly understand if you feel that there may be safety issues involved. Obviously, if there's safety issues, then it's a little bit easier just to do higher level of care. So the patient that I assess right now, I am transferring to higher level of care, and then the other patient that I reassess, I determined that they still need continued higher level of care. So I'll check back with you soon. So now that I assessed those 2 patients, luckily I'm working with one other provider, so they're gonna assess the other 2 patients. But now that I've assessed it, it's the most important part is to document. You have to document accurately and effectively, especially when they're on legal holds, because if it doesn't justify it, then how are they going to justify the hold? And way too many issues. So you want to make sure you document, and time to document, and sometimes documentation can take a very long time, maybe even as long as you assessing them. So take that into consideration, especially when you are a newer provider. Assessing and documenting is going to be the most difficult part. So right now it's about 11 o'clock and I finally finished documenting, I finally finished assessing the patient, and I finally finished coordinating with the other team members. And now I just have to sit and wait and see if another patient walks in through the urgent care. Can we take a second to recognize how dope my scrubs are? Take a peep. Super dope. And if you guys want to check it out and you want to save some money from Janu, check the link down below to save 20% off. So make sure you use it. So I just wanted to kind of discuss kind of the process of which they come in through the urgent care. So the urgent care, they walk in, fill out some paperwork, your basic information, insurance, things like that. And then after they complete that, they have to get medically cleared from the nursing staff. So nurses come out there, do vital signs, ask about certain questions, key questions to make sure that they're appropriate for this, or if they need to actually get intervention sooner rather than later. And then after they do that and get medically cleared and they're okay, they go sit back down and then fill out more paperwork. And then from there, based off of what the nurses are saying, they determine if they want to get therapy or if they want to do a psychiatric evaluation or medication refill or just medication management in general. And then they go ahead and see a patient family advocate or a therapist, and they conduct therapy or get the natural or the resources needed to kind of get continued care, because we are urgent care. We're not a place where you just constantly get refills and get seen. We do provide those outpatient resources or even other things, just like housing resources, substance abuse resources, things like that. And then after they get through that, then they go ahead and see me, and that's when I fully assess them, evaluate them, and do whatever they need to do. Sometimes, depending on the severity, we may place them on hold and then take them back to the unit, or if they want to go back to the unit, then we'll go ahead and bring them to the unit or just send them home. So it's a pretty cool process. It does take a while though. So the good thing about working at this specific place that I work at, we have multiple locations and we are able to do Telepsych. So there's certain locations that I'm able to do Telepsych with. So it's pretty cool because look, I'm able to see patients at the other units, especially if they're extremely busy compared to us. And I'm able to actually do assessments, evaluations, and it's pretty cool. It kind of expedites care and it helps patients because they don't have to necessarily wait super long because the process is long. So I'm able to see patients and help the other providers. And one thing I find about this job that's extremely difficult at times is having to do so many initial psychiatric evaluations. You have to do pretty much initial psychiatric evaluation on every single person unless they're a reassessment, but for the most part you still want to be able to do that evaluation to get to thoroughly know them so you know what the next steps are. So with having to do so many initial evaluations, it gets time consuming and it starts to become overbearing at times because you have to go through every single thing with each patient. And sometimes I have to do at least 10 to 15 initial psychiatric evaluations. Yes, the whole thing. So, and the population changes because they can be new onset of depression or they can be part of the system with extreme substance abuse, extremely psychotic, extremely agitated, with so many different things involved. And like I said, you have to deal with both sides, the urgent care side and the crisis stabilization side. So if someone goes off on the crisis stabilization side and they have to be put into a restraint, I have to do all of that, plus manage the front, plus manage maybe the opposite side, whether it's adolescent or the adult side. And it can be time consuming and having to do all of my notes. Yes, I have a 12-hour shift, but it can get extremely tiring. So definitely think about that. Alrighty guys, so right now it's about 5 p.m. and I've seen around 7 people. So you're looking at 6 new evaluations, so whether it's psych evals, refills, but we still have to do the evaluations, and 1 reassessment. So it's been a pretty busy day, and I know there's about 3 people waiting, and I have to cover at least 2 of them or assess 2 of them, and we're gonna pretty much go from there. So guys, I'm probably gonna end the video here. I just wanted to kind of give you a little bit of perspective on what I do on a daily basis at the psychiatric urgent care and the crisis stabilization unit. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you were able to kind of learn and understand what I do on a daily basis. And yeah, make sure you like and subscribe, and make sure you comment down below what you loved most about this video. And as always guys, have a wonderful day. Bye.